Hello, everyone. Today's motivational moment is about being stuck and the power of preparing to get unstuck. Now, being stuck is a feeling that can be challenging to overcome. Feeling stuck in a relationship, feeling stuck in a job or a career, feeling stuck in your life. If that is you, then this message is for you because these are feelings that can cause you not to advance to the next level in your life. Sometimes we can't figure out how to get unstuck and we stay in the same position and we stay in the same place in life that we really don't want to be in, even though we desire to go to another level. So, if you want to get unstuck, you have to prepare yourself for the changes that you must make in your life in order to get unstuck. So let's talk about this. First, you need to recognize what is causing you to feel stuck. What is it in your life that you think about that causes you to be stuck in whatever place you're stuck in? Now, think about it. Do you feel unworthy of living at a higher level in life? Like, do you think you don't deserve to live a prosperous and abundant life? Do you actually feel stuck because you think that this is all that there is for you in life? Because if that's what you're thinking, you got to first recognize that that is what's making you stuck. So you are actually stuck in your mind when it comes to seeing yourself as being fearfully and wonderfully made and created to live the life that you were purposed to live. Because if you don't think that about yourself, you are going to stay stuck in all of those types of situations that I mentioned. Is it feeling that you've gone through so much pain and that this pain and strife makes you feel like there's no hope for the future? Is it not seeing or not knowing a way to get out because you just don't know how to get there? You don't know which direction to go. You don't know which way to take because you've really never seen it happen before for other people. And you can't see the end from the beginning, especially like, let's say if your family has never shown you or given you a way out, then you feel stuck because you don't know which way to go. So stop and think. Identify it. Name it. Own it so you can control it. And I'm not saying that when you speak it into existence, it's going to cause it to stay around and things like that. But what I am saying is once you realize what's causing you to feel the stuckness, then you can start to work on that so that you can start to move out of that stuck place in your mind. Next, you want to realize that a change needs to be made. Now, what I mean by that, some people, if you don't even realize that there's another level of living, then you're not even going to attempt to go to another level of living because you don't even know that there's one out there. Like, think about it. Like, I was talking to a friend, and a friend said to me, they said, people are not going to ask you about being a millionaire if they don't even realize that being a millionaire is an option for them. And of course, I know everybody doesn't want to be a millionaire, but if you knew that it was possible for you to be a millionaire, why not try to go for it? I'm just saying. But some people don't even realize that that is even an option for them, so they don't talk about it because they don't know about it. Now, until you tell someone that it's possible, then they can start to realize it. Now, same as knowing your worth and knowing your value. When you hold yourself to a higher esteem for your life, then this is going to change other things that will happen in your life. You'll start to believe differently about yourself. You'll start to think differently about yourself. You'll start to act differently because you know that you are worthy. You are valuable. And this is just to show how I am. Like, once you realize a change needs to be made, then you begin to prepare for that change. Now, we're going to start with the mind and the heart because the mind and your mindset has to be prepared and your heart has to be prepared. Okay? So we got to release the pain, release the trauma. That pain and trauma, they are the two most common thieves of futures in this world. Pain and trauma create wounds that remain open until they're closed and healed. And if that trauma and that pain and that wound is never closed, then it can't heal. So when someone does try to help you get unstuck, it might be tough for you because they're touching on that open wound that's never been closed and it's never been healed. And it may just cause you more pain. Is the trauma something from your past that resurfaces that causes you to react a certain way and feel like others are going to hurt you all the time? Because then you react defensively because you're trying not to let anyone touch that sore spot. And even if that touch is a gentle touch, the trauma from your past will cause you to push people away. Even if those people have been assigned to you and assigned to your life to help you get to the next level. So until you release the pain and release the trauma in your mind and in your heart, they will forever haunt your future. They'll haunt your future relationships, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's in friendships, because the pain and trauma, it shows up, especially when you're dealing with other people. So then we got to reset our minds. Resetting your mindset to think the thoughts about your situations differently. Like whatever is keeping you stuck, change the way you handle your thoughts. Because if you're stuck, then you're thinking a certain way about your situation. So when I say reset your thoughts and reset your mind, when thoughts come in, what do you do with them? You got thoughts that are productive for your life. You got thoughts that are unproductive for your life. So what do you do when those thoughts come in? If it's an unproductive thought, you want to remove it. You want to release that and replace it with a thought that is more productive for your life. Because your mindset is the very first step to getting unstuck. Think about it. When you reset your mind to think things differently, then it changes your emotions and it changes your heart. So you want to reset your heart to let people in. Because a lot of times you don't let people in because of the pain and the trauma from your past. And so you push people away, even though those people may be here to help you. And how can you get to your next level if you don't allow people to help you? Because it's about connections. It's about partnerships. It's about, learning and growing. But if you don't let people in, how will you grow? How will you know? How will you know more things to get to that next level? So once you reset your mind, it will allow you to remember. And this is one thing I want you to remember. I want you to remember who you are and remember whose you are. And when I say it like that, it's because of this. You were created for a purpose. It was not happenstance that you were created. You were created with a purpose and with the future of abundance. Now, if you are not living and fulfilling a prosperous life, then you are not living up to what your creator created you for. You're not living up to your highest potential in life. So we want to reset and we want to remember who you are, who you were created to be. And some of you may say, well, I don't know who I am. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I was created for. And if you don't know, then I'm going to help you understand who you are. I'm going to help you know how to figure out your purpose. Now, the next thing is you got to restart. A lot of times we get stuck and we go through the process and we start changing our mind and we start preparing our hearts, and then we never really start the process, okay? Because life is a process, and anytime you want to go to another level, it's a process. You're going to restart your life with those changes that you've made to your mind and your heart. You restart by doing things differently. You restart by doing and taking action in those things that you're learning about. So restart. And of course, I'm not going to go through all of this and say these things without telling you how to do it. So this is how others and how myself, I've done some of these things to help me get unstuck in some of the situations that I may have been in. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is you got to find you some me time. Make some me time. Whether it's 5 minutes alone to actually just listen to the voice inside of you. The voice inside of you tells you right from wrong all the time. Now, whether or not you listen to it, that's up to you. But it's there. The voice, I call that voice inside, I call it our spirit. The spirit that's within us. And your spirit voice that was placed in you, it was placed in you when you were created. Now, this voice was meant to lead you, to guide you, to direct you, to show you things to come. Your spirit was given to help you get through and overcome the situations in life that you get stuck in. And people get stuck all the time. The question is, how do you deal with the situation when you are stuck? So the question is this too. Do you ever spend time alone to listen to that voice? Some of you say, well, no, I'm so busy. I'm always doing this, take care of kids, I take care of the husband. I got to work. I don't have time for myself. Understood. However, if you don't make time for yourself, how do you know what direction you really should be going? I'll wait. If you don't take time to listen to the voice and find some me time to actually just be you and your spirit, how do you know and how will you grow to that next level? Because most people try to handle it and they try to handle it on their own. Like if you're someone that runs around and does everything on your own and you take care of everybody, but you really don't take care of yourself and you just try to handle it on yourself and you don't let the voice help you, that's why some people get so stuck. And this is one of the ways that you can get unstuck. Take time to meditate. Now, I've learned that meditation looks different to different people. Some people feel like you gotta, be in the yoga stance and you gotta do all the, meditative types of things and the bowls and the music and all those things. What I'm gonna say is meditation is a time to let your mind be free. Free from the worries of the world in that moment of time. Free from thinking about all the problems that you're going through. You actually clear out all the junk in your mind that's causing you to be in a chaotic state. You try to quiet your mind and you are mindful of those thoughts that you allow to enter. Because when you meditate, you're going to get all types of thoughts that's trying to come at you, especially when you're trying to really focus and really be clear. Random thoughts just gonna start popping in. You're like, where'd that thought come from? Because you're trying to meditate. You're trying to get into, a quiet zone. Because when your mind is chaotic, so is your life. Think about that. When your mind is chaotic, so is your life. So when you learn to control your mind, you learn to control your life. You learn how to handle the situations. You learn how to not get so worried every time a situation arises. You learn how to control your emotions. You don't just fly off the handle at the smallest issue that comes up. And meditation in the morning, before you start your day, that's one of the best things that you can do, because you wake up and you actually start off on the right path. You clear your mind, and then you allow yourself to be free for that moment. And you start your day in a more peaceful state. And then the next thing that I would say for you to do in order to get unstuck is to spend some moments of prayer. Now, these moments for me, after or while meditating, those moments are when I am specific to ask for what I need. And I'm thankful for what I have. And I literally, when I ask, I'm being specific. Because this is what I've learned. I can ask and pray and say, hey, I want direction for my life, right? My life is made up of a whole bunch of stuff. So the question is, if I'm not specific, what kind of direction? Am I looking for direction in my career? Am I looking for direction in my family? Am I looking for direction in my finances? Like, be specific. What is it that you're asking for? What are you asking to get? What are you trying? You're trying to get unstuck. What are you trying to get unstuck from? Be specific. Okay? Because it says, ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the doors will be opened unto you. Give thanks in all things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because in all things, there's goodness that will come out of it, because it all is happening for a purpose. You may not know the purpose at that moment, but you have not gone through all the pain, the struggles, and the heartache for no reason, y'all. Like, your story is not just for you. Your story is for others that may be going through the same situation that you've overcome. Like, you didn't struggle just to struggle. Like, in the times that you were going through the pain, what did you learn from it? How did it make you stronger? Because anybody that's gone through a challenge and you've come out on the other side of that challenge, you come out stronger because you withstood whatever oppositions was throwing your way. So you getting something out of it, whether it's strength, knowledge, a lesson. Like, what I had to do is I had to realize that I was put in certain situations for a reason, and that there was a purpose behind all of them, okay? Because there's a purpose for your pain. Let me say that. Somebody needs to hear that. There is a purpose for your pain. And so next time when you're going through that pain, ask the question, what's the purpose for this pain? What am I supposed to be getting out of this? Why am I going through this? Please try to get an understanding of it so that you know how to deal with it. You know how to handle it. You know that you're not just going through for no reason, y'all. So in that moment, when you feel stuck, you take some time, take some moments to pray, ask for guidance, ask for the wisdom, and then be thankful for what you do have, because most of us, you have more than what you used to have. Even though you want to go to another level, I want to be thankful for the level that I'm at right now. I am grateful. I'm grateful. But I know that there's more that he's called me to do. And so the next thing that you want to do is you want to move. Moving means to put your body in motion, to reposition something from one place to another. Because faith without works is dead. So when you don't move and you are disobedient to what you were told to do, especially when it was revealed to you in either prayer or in meditation, the way for you to get unstuck, and you don't do it, then what's the point of even trying? Like, if it's revealed to you, move. You cannot let fear, you cannot let the past, you cannot, oh my gosh, you cannot let the opinions of others keep you stuck in a place that you know you're not supposed to be at. You know you were created for more. Like, that place is a season in your life. And we all go through different seasons in life. Like, there's been seasons of lack in my life. There's been seasons of health challenges in my life. There's been seasons of depression in my life. Those were seasons that I went through, that there were seasons when I was stuck. So don't get stuck in your season, because your season of abundance is waiting for you, but you have to be willing to move. You know, some people get comfortable and complacent doing good. You know, hey, I'm doing good. You know, I don't need all of that. I don't need abundance. Okay, that's fine. However, you don't strive for more because the work that you have is good for right now. But what if your creator got comfortable and content with blessing you? I'm just saying, because this is what I heard yesterday, and I'm going to talk about this. that I wasn't consistent in what I was supposed to be doing, but I want God to be consistent in blessing me. I wasn't consistent in giving how I was supposed to give, but I want God to be consistent with giving to me. You don't do that with people. You know that if somebody don't give you something and they're not consistent, then you're not really gonna turn around and be consistent to them because they've shown you their character. But let me get back to the topic. This is what I've learned. I've learned that the poor will be with us always because they reject the knowledge. And I always wondered, well, why would people reject knowledge if it's going to take them to another level, right? Then I had to realize, you've heard this too, that when you know better, do better. And it was like, oh, so if I know better, then I need to be doing better. And if I'm not doing better and I knew better, then I'm wrong. So if someone explains to me what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it, and then I don't do it and I reject it, then I'm not going to be held accountable for having to be better. But if I receive that information, then I know that I'm responsible for doing better. So there's going to be an expectation that when I know better, I do better. So when people get knowledge, there's an expectation to do better. But if you reject that knowledge, then people don't expect you to do better because they say, oh, well, you didn't have the knowledge and the know-how to do it. And so that's why the poor will be with us always, because people will reject the knowledge and they won't do some of these things because they're like, hey, I'm good. But let's keep going. All I'm saying is, if you want to get unstuck and live up to your full potential, you're gonna have to move for whatever reason. Like, think about it. Some people don't move because of the what if. What if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if it does? I always say that. So some people are like, well, I'm just going to stay right here and I'm not going to move and I'm not going to go anywhere and I'm not going to change anything because it's working out for me right here where I am. I'm good. But what if the next level of living a life of abundance was in your move? Like you being obedient and moving when you got that revelation in your meditation. Like, but some people stay where they are because of their comfort level, right? And then I think about it like this. There's a 50-50 chance that it will work out. And there's a 50-50 chance that it won't work out, right? But not moving is an automatic 0% chance of the next level. Like, think about that. Like, think about the odds. Like, if I try something new, there's a 50-50 chance that it will and it won't. But if I don't try something new, it's guaranteed that it won't because I didn't even do it. Okay, let me finish. Now, okay, after you spend time meditating and you spend time in your moments of prayer, and then you realize that you need to move and you move. You may not have all the directions laid out for you. You may not know every single step, but your moving is a sign of faith that you want more, that you want to get unstuck. So come on, let's get unstuck right now. Let me tell y'all what happened. Last night, I was at a conference, the She Rose League 2023 conference. And the speaker got up there and she asked everyone, hey, if you've been called to teach, speak, minister into the lives of others, but you feel stuck and you feel like, you're not doing how you're supposed to, come on to the front. So I asked myself, okay, do I feel stuck? And I was like, nah, I'm not stuck. I'm good. I'm doing good, right? Then she said, so, people started going to the front. I was like, okay, I'm going to pray for them. Then she said, how many of you, where you have a purpose on your life and you need to make some moves, but you have not done that and you are not at the next level and you know you need to be going to another level in your purpose, right? I was like, oh, she got me. Yes. So I was like, okay. So when I went to the front, I just started meditating. Like really, I zoned. I wasn't even listening to what they were saying. Like I was up there, but I opened my ears to hear, what my spirit and my inner voice had to say to me. And this is what my spirit told me. And may help some of you. The voice said to me, you are not at the level that you are supposed to be at because you have not been committed to being consistent to what I've told you to do. What I said was, the Spirit told me that I haven't been consistently committed to what I was supposed to be doing, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, I can see that, right? And then just start breaking it down. It was like, hey, you were given the directions to start a podcast. Hey, you started the podcast. You were supposed to do it weekly. Have you done it weekly? You got comfortable. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, you're supposed to be making videos, and you started putting out videos 3 times a day, and then once a day, and then once a week, and you got comfortable. And I was like, yeah, I haven't been consistent in that. And then it's like, okay, you want to be elevated to another level, but you're not being committed to being consistent to the change. I was like, yeah, you're right, right? And then the voice got personal with me. The voice said, you wanted to have a husband. You wanted to be married. I was like, yes, but you haven't been consistent in preparing yourself to be a wife. I was like, man, okay. And so some of you might be going through that same thing where you're stuck, but you're stuck because you haven't been consistent in what you committed yourself to do. Like, you got to commit to the consistency. So I wanted to make sure you understood the importance of being consistent, okay? So I clearly understood what I needed to do. I needed to be consistent. I needed to be committed to the calling that was on my life. And I needed to trust that the Spirit and my inner voice will guide me in the right direction. So when I left, it was raining. And I don't like driving in the rain. Anybody that knows me knows I'll wait until the rain stops. So when I got in the car, my prayer was, God, please remove the rain so I can see clearly, right? And, I just was talking to my spirit earlier. I'm like, okay, cool, remove the rain. And the Spirit tells to me, nope. And I'm like, what you mean, no? You've done it before. You could do it again, right? And my voice said, every time there's an obstacle, you always ask me to remove the obstacle instead of asking me how to navigate through the obstacle. I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I was like, okay, let's go. So I start to drive and I say, okay, lead me, guide me safely to my destination. Open my eyes so that I can see any dangers that lie ahead of me. Open my ears so that I can hear if I needed to change lanes or move around, so that I could hear the voice speaking to me. And I was driving and I turned the corner, getting ready to get on the freeway. And before I turned the corner to get on the freeway, it was like sirens and red lights and the ambulance and and so it was crazy because literally right after I said that prayer, my voice just said, hey, slow and steady, stay down here, don't get up there, get in your lane. Repeat, get in your lane and take it at the pace that I have set before you. And I was like, okay. So every step of the way, I was asking which direction to go, because the direction was stay in the middle. So to me, that's like, don't go to the left, don't go to the right, stay right here in the middle and take it slow and steady. And what happened was other cars started coming and they started flying, and people drive however they want to drive. in the rain. And so I started to speed up just like them because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm getting left behind. Anybody don't, sometimes you don't want to get left behind, so you start trying to speed up, and you see other people all the way up there, and you're like, then the Spirit said, slow and steady. You are not running their race. And I was like, okay. And then you are not equipped with the same type of vehicle that they have. I have a low profile car. So if I go too fast and I hit a puddle, I'm going to spin out. But if this truck is flying, the chances are they may be able to go through the water faster. Oh, I started thinking about life, and I started thinking about all of the times that we judge our success based on the progress of other people. So these other cars were going faster than me, right? But they had a different vehicle. They had a different purpose. They had a different destination, right? They had a different, a different goal that they're trying to get to. Sometimes your goal is slow and steady because it's a process. And you want to follow the directions that are given to you, because if you don't, you put yourself into more danger. And I didn't have to try to do what they were doing because they were doing based on their conditions. I got to do it based on my conditions, my purpose. It is made for my speed, but only in the right conditions. Like, for instance, my car is made to go fast, but my car is not made to go fast in the rain. So you got to remember, there are some situations in your life where you will be able to go fast because the conditions are going to be set up for what you need at that moment. But there's times when you're going to have to go slower in life because the conditions are not set up for you yet. See, some people trying to get there fast and you trying to get there quick when you're in a processing situation. And when you're processing, and you try to process too fast, it'll come out underdeveloped. And when you're not fully developed, then you're not going to actually do what you were supposed to do. Now, back to me driving. I drove slow, I drove steady. And then I looked ahead and I started to see what looked like red lights. It looked like everybody was braking. It looked like it was going to be traffic, right? And y'all know what I did? I jumped on the beltway. Instead of staying in my lane, instead of staying where the voice had told me to stay, I jumped onto the beltway and got up there. And guess what? I prejudged what was down there. I thought down there was going to slow me down. And so I got out of my lane and I got on I didn't just get out of my lane. I got on a whole completely different path. I was on a whole nother road, y'all. Like the feeder, I'm up here. Now with the beltway, it's faster. It was wetter. It was actually more dangerous because the cars are driving at a higher rate of speed. Think about it. So I got in the middle lane still. I was taking it slow, but what the Spirit in my voice said, yeah, you might be taking it slow and steady up here in the middle lane, but this is not the road and the path that I told you to be on. Yeah, I am telling you, this is the conversation that was had on last night. And I thought the road that I was on was going to get me there faster because I was trying to avoid a slowdown over there. And in actuality, it wasn't even a slowdown. Sometimes we see things that we think are going to cause us a problem and we try to avoid them without consulting the Spirit first. And instead, I put myself in a more dangerous situation by getting onto the beltway. I made it home safely, but it took me longer. And I was more stressed out because I just knew somebody was going to run into the back of me because I was driving so slow on the beltway. But it took me longer because the road that I was on wasn't the road that I was supposed to be on. And sometimes that's what we do. We get out of our lane and we get on a path we're not supposed to be on. So we might make it to our destination, but it may take longer and you may have to struggle a little bit more to get there. So from that story, like I said, it is true. I realize that in life, when we get stuck or when we're given an obstacle, there's times when the obstacles will be removed, and there's times when we must go through the obstacle. But when you're going through, you want to listen and follow the leading of the Spirit, that voice inside of you that's there to help you. But many times we miss it. Many times we start off on the right track, and then we end up somewhere we're not supposed to be. And we got to realize, hey, this ain't where I'm supposed to be. Let me get back on track. So remember, prepare yourself to get unstuck today. Realize that you're stuck. Recognize it's causing you what's causing you to be stuck. Release that pain. Release that trauma. Reset your mind to think differently. Remember who you are and what you were created for. Restart in the direction that you truly want to go. But you got to do that by making time to meditate daily, making some you time, taking some moments in prayer, being consistent and committed to the moves that you're making, and decide to be disciplined. Being disciplined and committed to being consistent, to reach your dreams, to reach your goals, and to get to that next level of living. Because there is power in preparing for your unstuck season. And if anything that has been said in this message has helped you in any way, remember to like it. Let me know what helped you. Share it with someone else who may need it. And subscribe to the channel for more motivational moments and more of these messages. And if you want to get in contact with me, I'm on all social media platforms, or you can find me at www.tracydarmstrong.com. And again, thank you for watching. This is Tracy D. Armstrong. Have a good one, y'all.